The boutique was a sanctuary of sheer luxury, a realm where the air was infused with the faintest trace of leather and extravagance. Classical music played softly in the background, a harmonious hum that set the perfect tone. Vanessa Cole stepped inside, and the gentle chime of the doorbell announced her arrival. She had just come from a grueling day in court, where she had emerged victorious in a high-stakes case, one that had tested every ounce of her resolve. Her navy blue pantsuit, impeccably tailored, hugged her form with an undeniable air of authority. Her heels clicked sharply against the polished marble floor, each step echoing with purpose. But this wasn't a moment to make a statement. No. Today, Vanessa was here for something far simpler: to unwind, to treat herself to a piece of beauty after a week filled with tension and triumph. As she walked deeper into the boutique, however, she felt a sudden shift in the atmosphere. It wasn't the usual serenity she'd come to expect. No, it was the heavy weight of judgmental gazes, eyes that seemed to linger just a little too long. The employees, impeccably dressed in their crisp uniforms, exchanged knowing glances. Their smiles? Oh, those smiles were too tight, too forced. Vanessa had been navigating spaces like this for years, places where she wasn't exactly expected to belong, where her presence often sparked skepticism and, on occasion, outright hostility. Yet today, she wasn't in the mood to fight. She was here for a handbag, not a confrontation. She made her way to a display of designer bags, her fingers gently brushing against the soft leather of a sleek black clutch. It was exquisite, the kind of accessory that could elevate any outfit in an instant. As she reached out to get a closer look, a voice sliced through the calm, jolting her attention. "Can I help you?" Vanessa turned to see a man approaching her, tall, sharp-jawed, and with an arrogance that practically radiated off of him. His name tag read Philip, store manager. His eyes swept over her, lingering on her face, her clothes, her hands, evaluating. Vanessa recognized that look. It was the same look she had seen countless times before, the look that said, "You don't belong here." "Just browsing." "Thank you," she replied, her tone polite yet firm. Philip crossed his arms, a smirk curling on his lips. "Browsing, huh? For what exactly?" he asked, his voice dripping with condescension. Vanessa didn't flinch. "For a handbag," she said, gesturing towards the display. "Why else would I be here?" Philip's smirk deepened, his gaze turning colder. "Are you sure about that? We've had incidents in the past." Vanessa raised an eyebrow. "Incidents?" "Yes," he replied, his tone laced with disdain. "People coming in, wasting our time, causing trouble. I'm sure you understand." The flicker of anger threatened to rise within Vanessa, but she held her ground. "Are you suggesting I don't belong here?" Philip shrugged nonchalantly, his expression oozing smugness. "I'm just saying we've had issues with certain individuals. I'd hate to have to call security." Vanessa almost laughed. Security? For what? She hadn't done anything but step into the store and admire the merchandise. But she knew exactly what this was about. It wasn't about her actions, it was about her presence, about her skin color, about the fact that Philip clearly didn't think she should be in this space. "Call them," she said, her voice calm but unwavering. "Call security, call the police. Do whatever you need to do." For a moment, Philip hesitated, clearly taken aback by her response. Then his pride kicked in and he pulled out his phone. "Fine, if that's how you want to play it." As he dialed, Vanessa calmly pulled out her own phone, her fingers moving swiftly across the screen. Philip watched her, a sneer curling on his lips. "Texting your lawyer," he taunted. Vanessa didn't look up. "Something like that." Minutes later, 2 police officers entered the store, and Philip straightened, his confidence returning. "Thank you for coming, officers," he said, his voice dripping with false concern. "This woman has been loitering, causing a disturbance. She refused to leave when I asked her to." The officers turned toward Vanessa, and recognition dawned on their faces. One of them stiffened, his jaw tightening. "Miss Cole," he asked, his voice cautious. "Is everything okay?" Philip froze. "Wait, what?" he stammered. The second officer stepped forward, his entire demeanor shifting in an instant. "Miss Cole, do you need assistance?" Vanessa smiled, a small, knowing smile. "Oh, I think the assistance has already arrived," she said, pulling her identification from her handbag. She held it up for Philip to see. "Vanessa Cole, District Attorney." Philip's face went pale. I didn't know." Vanessa took a step closer, her gaze unwavering. "You didn't know what?" she asked, her voice steady and powerful. "That I was the district attorney? Or that your racism would have consequences?" The officers exchanged a look before turning back to Philip. "Sir," the first officer said sharply, "you've just falsely reported a crime. That's a serious offense." Philip sputtered, his words tripping over themselves. I didn't know." Vanessa tilted her head, her eyes locking onto his. "You didn't know what? That I was a human being deserving of respect? Or that your assumptions would come back to haunt you?" The officers turned to Vanessa. "Miss Cole, do you want to press charges?" Philip's eyes widened in horror. "Charges? No, please, I didn't mean." Vanessa raised a hand, silencing him. "No," she said firmly, "I won't press charges today." Philip exhaled, a look of relief washing over him, but Vanessa wasn't done. "But," she added, her tone cold and controlled, "I will be making some phone calls." By the time Vanessa got home that evening, the boutique's corporate office was in full crisis mode. Social media had exploded with news of the incident, and the company had issued a public apology. But the damage was already done. Philip was fired immediately, his career shattered. The corporate office pleaded with Vanessa to return, offering her free merchandise, discounts, anything to make amends. But Vanessa wasn't interested in their offers. She didn't need their free gifts. She had made her point. The incident quickly became a rallying cry, a stark reminder of the pervasive racism that still lingered in even the most polished spaces. Vanessa's story spread like wildfire, inspiring countless others to stand up against discrimination, to demand respect. And Philip? He learned a lesson he would never forget. A lesson about humility, respect, and the very real consequences of prejudice. As for Vanessa, she returned to her work with renewed determination. She had spent her entire career fighting for justice, and this incident was just another reminder of why that fight was so crucial. Because no one, no matter who they are, should ever have to prove they belong.